Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
Sorry.
No,
I'm Griff. I literally was waiting for the audio cue. I'm sorry. I'm Griff.
Baka.
I'm also an idiot. Oak's not here this week.
No, that's my job. It's in my name.
But I mean, man, it's not like I didn't know he was here. Now I just feel extra dumb.
We're feeling extra today.
Yeah, I really am. Anyway, what's up, guys? I'm an idiot. Let's get that out of the way already. How's it going?
It's going.
I would ask.
Lots of Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
They're killing the druids.
You're an awful person. Awful.
No, that's cool. You can play your store however you want. My game just keeps crashing. I can't play it anymore.
Yeah, I'm pretty upset about that because I was trying to keep up close to Chicken, and now we can't talk about stuff because he can't play.
Yeah, my game just keeps crashing. It basically, whenever I'm... Okay, so I'm in the final act.
Just a little bit. For some reason, you get louder when we're actually on the show. Go ahead.
That's fine. I'm in the final city, final act, and moving through, and it's a big city, very active, and all the buildings are quite occupied and lively, and I can interact with things inside of each of the buildings. But if I try to reload, like if I try to save scum or anything, it gets locked up during the reloading phase, and then it basically pops up, your program is no longer responding, end process or cancel. And you don't have an option. It's just end process or cancel. And I've let it sit there for like 20 minutes, and it's still like faded out. It just gets stuck. So I have to end process. And then I can reload the whole game, get into it again, and it's clean. And then I start moving around, and it's okay. And then it starts kind of like going, it just starts declining in optimization. Like it just starts getting laggy quickly. Then I try to reload it.
Like old saves?
No, well, I mean...
I think it's because he did a boss fight super out of order, which I think we talked about last time we were here. But
I don't know if it's the boss fight.
I think it's because
that couldn't have caused an issue.
I think you kind of messed up the quest, and the game is stuck trying to process that information, but it can't.
Well, no, because Baka might have a point. I've never messed with my saves. Everything has always been perfectly fine up to this. So maybe having so many saves, because I mean I've probably got so many more than both of you.
I started deleting my older saves because it was eating up my hard drive.
I think I've got like 1,500 saves up to this point.
I mean, even still, like, I know y'all need upgrades as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Because, like, even after a few hours of mine, like, I have to close the game, let it sit for a while, not reopen or anything, and then just reopen it again because it starts bogging. And if you're in a city like Act 3 is where you're in Baldur's Gate, correct?
Yeah.
So there is so much information going there that it's probably having a hard time keeping everything.
Nothing deloads. Nothing.
Yeah.
Everything that you explore is fully active.
It resets.
Yeah, but even so, it resets again.
Yeah, I mean, once you get back out there and whatnot. But it does, like, if you've done a bunch of stuff and you're struggling a little, you can do a long rest and try to reset it that way instead of closing the game.
Yeah, but that's the problem. That gets, like, to me, that gets so tiring. Like, every 10 to 20 minutes, my game starts bogging down, and I either have to try to either long rest or reload the game, and then if I try to reload the game anytime between that, it just locks up and crashes. See, so I hit walls almost every way that I go, and reloading the game every 20 minutes is not a way to play. But, I mean... I have, every time they put a patch out and I read the comments, there is at least one of like the top 5 comments that are always saying the same thing. Act 3 optimization sucks. My game crashes all the time and I can't have it open for too long because it starts bogging down so hard. At least one of the top 5.
I'm hoping I can get my computer
even the top ends are still struggling. Because they did not work in Act 3 at all. And everybody agrees that, and that's what they're working on. They're trying to fix it. They're trying to, but the Act 3 is just a different beast compared to what 1 and 2 are.
I get shafted in combat when it comes to lucky crits on the enemy, you know, and I just get wrecked. But when it comes to the actual technical side of things, I have gotten super lucky in so many games. Like Cyberpunk, I didn't have a problem with playing on release. I didn't have really any issues or game-breaking bugs or anything like that. With this one, I had it open all day Monday. I didn't have to, last Monday, I didn't have to, because I was off, I didn't have to close it and reset it at any point. I didn't close it for like several hours and it was still okay. I didn't have a problem with it slowing down. Like occasionally it starts getting slow on the reload stuff, but it doesn't get slow enough that it can't function and crashes itself out. So I've gotten super lucky. Lucky.
Lucky
in
you.
that.
I wish you the best. Hope you're enjoying it, but unfortunately, I have not got that.
I know, and I'm not like bragging. I'm just saying, like it seems like everybody's experience with this has been different, not only in like gameplay aspect, but actual performance aspect as well. So I don't know why that's so variable, you know? Because you and I, Chicken, are running basically the same machine too.
Yours is smaller than mine.
What?
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought Griff's was slightly better.
No, that was her last one. This time around, mine's slightly better. And you're playing on a 16 by 800 monitor instead of the 1980.
Well, yeah, so because
yours is going to be just
both old and small.
But that's the thing, is that your graphics quality, your resolution is just slightly smaller than mine. I mean, that's not going to be the make or break, but that is a variable. Same graphics cards. My motherboard is one level ahead of hers because I was doing a lot more streaming then. So I went ahead and got the one that was just a little bit better than hers. CPUs are exactly the same. Everything else is exactly the same. Just my motherboard's just literally the one above hers. Yeah. But everything else is exactly identical. But that's just how it is. Video games, man. One person with the identical machine, it runs perfectly fine, and the other person, it just runs like shit. So it happens.
Well, Tuesday is the start of the Prime Day thing, so you and I can look at some of our options and see if anything is on sale that we might want or need, like me, for a hard drive. I'm just saying. But yeah, I mean, I hate that you can't play, especially since we were like pretty close to each other, so within a day or two we could talk about the thing that just happened or whatever, and now it's like, well, okay. So it sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. It does suck, and it makes me upsetty. Like, I've actually been contemplating starting another playthrough to get to Act 3. I have like a bunch of characters all lined up at Act 3, so that
just
when it
ready to go when they fix it for you.
They can finish a bunch of different
I would
Act 3s.
try what Baka said though, is test out loading a previous save. Something from before when you started stuttering. Just to see.
When it wasn't mostly till the tower. Well, it wasn't too bad until it was after one of the patches a few weeks ago.
So
which, you know how it goes with shit like
and
that.
Just to clarify, we're not running any mods, so it's not that there's a mod conflict that's happening and crashing stuff out. Neither one of us, and Baka's not either, I don't think, are running.
I'm currently going through the Gauntlet of Shar. I was going through that one earlier before the
yeah, but you're not running any mods to help you or anything.
Oh no. Yeah. Not yet. Anyway, like once I beat the my normal one and I'm going to be an absolute dick and kill everything.
Murder hobo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Be a murder hobo in that game because I won't let you do it in my D&D campaigns.
I have to get out the frustration somewhere, Griff.
I know. But at least it's away from me, and I can just, from afar, judge you silently.
Look, you get more attached to pixelated people than I do.
I do.
She does. Like, almost unhealthily attached.
That's not...
I said almost, not quite.
You're making it weird. I don't think they're
real
real
people. Then I'm just going to go through and be like, yeah, I'm going to have everyone on my party, and we're just going to completely fuck shit up.
see different sides of people. That's what I'm excited to. Like, that's why I'm gonna do like my normal good playthrough, and then try like a different, more neutral styled playthrough, and then maybe the Dark Urge evil playthrough, and then maybe a different good playthrough, just to get variety in there, to really change it up and give you a different story through it, different style.
I'm kind of interested in the Dark Urge thing, but I know one of the things that happens, and that makes me so sad that I don't know if I can
so
commit.
the thing with the Dark Urge is you can actually work to try to fight those urges.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is why I find it interesting, but I know that there is an unavoidable death, and that one makes me so sad that I don't know if I could commit.
You're talking about the one lady. I woke up and
We will not be doing spoilers here, but yes, Baka, that is exactly.
Well, that's why I was trying to avoid like specific characters and.
Yeah.
Well.
Just yeah. I just don't know that I could commit to that. So, it is what it is. We all play games differently.
Yep.
And that's largely what we played some Dead by Daylight this weekend. Something else. We played a little
Killed a
Puppet
WoW
Master.
boss that we've been working on for like a month and a half.
Yes. I'm wearing my Arthas shirt right now because ICC comes out this week for Classic. So, I'm ready.
Sure does. I went through ICC on the retail version of WoW just to kind of get the whole map place out in my head. I actually bugged my character. I was fighting the first boss, and he did the little bone spike to me, and I was stuck. He couldn't kill me. I couldn't move. There's nothing I could do to get out of it. I had to Alt F4 the whole game and shut it down and reset the whole raid so that I could do it again.
That's sad.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I was doing.
Well, that'll be this week, so I'm sure we'll have fun stories about that. The next show, basically. I'll have 2 weeks worth of it, or a week and a half, I guess, because it comes out on Thursday.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
That'd be fun, That's the thing that you're into. Okay. We can talk about news, but I'll be 100% transparent with you. All three of us skimmed these articles. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. We were trying to hurry to get here. And just didn't have as much time beforehand. Couldn't you wait? Yes, we could have. Did we? Absolutely not. No. We live in the fast lane here. So.
We got shit to do.
Yeah. I've got a boss that I'm in the middle of the fight for in Baldur's Gate, so I gotta get back to that.
I gotta finish solving this fucking gauntlet.
Good luck with that. If you need me help, I'll give you some loose hints, but you gotta.
In the library one at the moment.
Keep your shit to yourself.
Chicken had to help me with that. Just don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. I didn't know exactly.
I'm sure I'll figure it out because the first one. I figured out a cheese strat to that one.
Look, we can talk about that after the show. So, unless you're having trouble with the combat, in which case.
No.
Okay, I was like, if you have trouble with the combat, how did I do it?
What are you playing on normal?
Balanced, thank you.
Balanced.
Okay. Yeah. Balanced.
Yeah, because I want to enjoy the story right now, so.
That's
what I do with most of my games, like Metroid or whatever, or any of those games. Like I will go through it, just enjoy the story and the gameplay, and then I will go through and do
harder.
Yeah. That's why I'm gonna humble brag right here. I play hard mode for the story.
Yeah, that's not so much humble. You're just bragging.
I know. But I mean, Tactician is no fucking joke, by the way. Sometimes those motherfuckers are like, hey, how you doing? Slap, and you just fly off the fucking balcony, and you're like,
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll just reload.
That's what save scumming is for. I've been yeeted into the abyss multiple times. At least once by my own teammate, so,
Yep. Sometimes. Sometimes I play it out as best I can, but.
I accidentally killed a Starion in one fight.
Rip.
Yeah, I didn't realize that there were oil barrels nearby, and I used Fireball.
famous last words. Hey, I didn't know there was an oil barrel. Boom. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to the angle, and I was like, I'll just fireball these things, and I try to position it where it was like, oh, okay, well, it's not going to quite hit a stereo, and it'll be close, and then it went off, and the barrels exploded, and I was like,
Yep, that
Okay.
explosion radius.
Kaboom.
Yeah. I've done that with the little explosive bombs because they sometimes don't show you the radius for them. And I'm like, well, this is probably fine. No, it's not. It's never fine. So, anyway, news stuff. So, this week there was a lot of stuff. What?
Yeah, what do we want to talk about first?
I guess
All
the easy one to get out of the way is that PlayStation's Jim Ryan is retiring in March after 30 years. I'm sorry, nearly 30. We'll just let him have it.
27 years.
We can round. 30's fine. Just say 30.
I mean, yeah, it's a long fucking time that he's leaving.
That's longer than some PlayStation players have been alive. So, let's be real. Give it to him. Just round it out for 30.
You know, it is interesting that he's retiring now, like during the Microsoft acquisition and whatnot. You think that they would want a little bit of stability on their ship to deal... Which, to be fair, Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard is a pretty big thing and big for the competition. So you think Sony would want their big boss holding out for at least another year to kind of let that play out and see how they can stabilize?
They're thinking that they need fresh blood in there at this point.
I do think it's funny that his retirement starts on April 1st next year. It's like, just kidding, he's not retiring. Gotcha. That was the longest April Fool's joke ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's to another 30.
It's probably because that's the end of the first quarter.
It is. I mean, I'm sure that that's what it is, but it's just one of those things where anybody doing anything on April 1st feels super unfortunate because of that stupid holiday. I hate that holiday. It shouldn't even be a real holiday. Ugh.
I haven't done anything April Fools in I don't know how long.
And I am grateful for it. Thank you. Because, my God, that's the dumbest shit.
No, I just double up for Halloween. Throw fake spiders in game cases and shit like that.
Well, wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors, and good luck to whoever's replacing him. Which I didn't see. It didn't say, did it? Or did it? Maybe.
There's an interim. He's got an interim.
Okay.
Right now.
I'm about to say he's probably training the other person.
Hiroki Totoki. That's a great name. I love that.
Hiroki Totoki.
Yeah, I love it so much. I want to meet him. Okay.
Yeah, pretty nice name. Okay, but yeah. So, which, I mean, I like Baka's theory on that. They're going to try to put fresh blood into the leadership while Microsoft does this giant acquisition and then see how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad call. I mean, most people will be focused on the other, so you got a minute to get your bearings because you're not on the spotlight. So...
Yeah.
Speaking of which, isn't it this week that Microsoft's supposed to buy Activision?
I think it's this week. It is...
October 13th.
October 13th. This Friday.
Yeah, Friday 13th. Like, again,
Friday
you guys
the
are picking the best days for these kinds of announcements and things to actually happen. Let's see.
Yep.
Everybody is upset about it. Let's do it on a day that everybody thinks is cursed anyway.
And the FTC is trying to resume its case against the acquisition, too.
Okay. I mean, why though?
They're going
everyone else is on board, but it's like, no, we have an issue with it. It's like, why?
We have an issue with it because, yes, it is in the public interest, and it's like, okay, y'all don't actually care about the public interest. First of all,
if it was EA trying to buy them, I would probably have more of an issue with it. Because EA's reputation of buying companies and then putting them out to pasture behind the company lot.
Yeah, but I don't think that would warrant FTC stepping in either, though.
No.
I mean, that would be concern for...
The only way you could fight that is basically EA buying the competition to kill it off.
I mean,
which, again, is harmful to the market.
That's true, but I don't think you could prove that that's what they're doing.
You'd have to prove Shit, I can't think of the word for it now.
Intent, probably.
Well, it basically have to prove that they've done it. I can't think of the word for it. It's
You've been watching a law show. What do you mean you can't think of the word for it?
because I'm terrible with words. You know me. It's not proving intent. It's proving shit.
Well, I'm sure somebody will tell us. Leave a comment on the YouTube video, or hit us up in Discord and be like, "Chicken, you dumbass! Here's the word that you were trying to look for. Thanks, I'm a lawyer."
Or Chicken will think of it after the show and be like, "That's what it was."
No, he'll think of it like at midnight tonight. He'll be like, "Get up! I know what it was."
It's still after the show.
That's true. But yes, that court case thing is. I just don't know. I mean, it also is. I guess it's one of those things where it's like, well, how much. Since this is a federal trade commission, how much money are you putting into this from the taxpayers to pursue a thing that everybody else has been like, we think it's fine? Like, at what point do you be like, we're just costing too much? Like, this is too much to pursue for what feels like no reason.
Didn't they hire one of the big guys from Blizzard back as well?
Blizzard did it. Or, well,
come on, you know who they brought back.
They hired Chris Metzen back.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was the one.
The big dog, which BlizzCon is in less than a month right now, and we will find out what is happening soon. For
I mean, if they're bringing him back, it's either for retail expansion, maybe would be my guess, or I don't know, because at this point with Wrath getting towards the end, they unless they have been working with him secretly for a while,
which they have. He has been consulting quite a bit before they brought him back officially.
Yeah, I'm just curious if it's if Classic's going to go a different way, or if it's going to be the stupid fucking Cataclysm.
It will be Cataclysm, for sure. I feel very confident about that. But they're also running Classic WoW right now, Wrath of the Lich King, and I have a strong feeling they're going to go off with Cataclysm. Now, they can either go Wrath a different direction, which I doubt, unfortunately, or they could go back to Classic and go a different direction.
I think they're just going to go Cata.
They will, but they're going to lose a shit ton of money, unfortunately. Unfortunately, but
yeah, because there's a lot of people who are like, I mean, especially with us, where we're like, yeah, we're not going to do Cata again. No. Like we hit cap level in Cata and did some of the dungeons and stuff, and then just kind of fell off.
Yeah.
Well, I think it became a whole lot less fun.
I think they're gonna try to make it a gap fill and run through it pretty quickly to get to other expansions that they know people did like Mists of Pandaria for some reason. And then, I mean, because they're gonna run into the aesthetic
of Mists of Pandaria that people like, the whole like Chinese kind of kung fu aspect.
Yeah.
And the monk class, I guess, which I never played because it didn't appeal to me, but that's because my playstyle is different, which is fine. But I kind of wonder if they're going to do that again, basically be like, okay, we got to Miss Pandaria, and we're staying here for a while, and everybody really loves it. Okay, now quickly go through Warlord so that we can get to the next one that everybody likes.
But that's the problem, is that you're going to be trying to, like, shuffle people through. And, as we all understand, Classic ends with Wrath. When they do the world change and update everything, Classic is over. Because there's no more original world. No more original storylines. Yeah. Everything changes from that point on.
Mm-hmm.
That is not Classic.
It was one of the big ones.
Exactly. So it changes. After this, it's over. There's no more just Classic. You can't call it Classic Cataclysm at that point because the world is updated to modern retail. So that's my thoughts on it, is that it just won't be right when it goes back to Cataclysm.
Well, I guess that doesn't really matter. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is FTC.
Well, we were talking about
FTC is trying to continue their case, which they've already lost more than once. Good luck to them, I guess. It won't help, but whatever.
No, I don't think so.
Especially not by Friday. Like, you have until Friday. Good luck.
And we already know Microsoft has its hands in Activision too, because not only did Overwatch come to Steam in August, Diablo 4 came to Steam very recently. So they're just kind of branching out their games all of a sudden. So I have a very strong feeling this is just going to end up being closed on Friday and done and moved on with.
Well, yeah, I think
we'll see unless they pull up something that halts it all, maybe for Friday, I guess.
That would be something else for serious.
Yeah. So we'll find out on Friday. They'll either be celebrating or sad. We'll see. It's a lot of similar consonants. Anyway, in other news, everybody's having layoffs. Like, the list of people not laying off people, probably shorter than the list of people that are getting laid off. Now it is the people who made Fall Guys are having Metatonic are having massive layoffs thanks to Epic. So that's fun. Naughty Dog also having big layoffs. I think they lost like 25 people. Is what Ollie said.
They always love to wait till the holidays before they start booting people off.
Yeah, hey, Christmas right around the corner. Happy holidays, get out.
That way, all those profits of the game that they're thinking is gonna do big, they're just gonna be like, yeah, look, we get to all this dough because all these employees are gone. We just take their share, right?
No shit.
They can't really form a union about it either.
Even if they do do a union, you can't. I would recommend not being contract-based union, because even if you are a union, when your contract runs out, they'll still let you go.
Yeah, because that's what happened with Bioware.
Yep.
They just laid off 13 of their contractors.
Because they were, the QA staff, because they were contractors, and even though they were unionized, they were still contractors, and their contract ran out. And there's nothing in union work or nothing at all that says that you have to
renew.
Renew. If you're done, contract goes out. You've both fulfilled obligations.
I mean, it's QA testers for Dreadwolf, so I mean, raise your hand if you're shocked by this news. If you raised your hand, you're not really following the news. It's just that's not surprising by them, and I think with the Fall Guys one, it's one of those things where, yeah, Epic bought them, and then they're, maybe not going to be making as much off of Fall Guys. They're going to have a smaller team to work on it. But I don't think they care, because they were worried that Fall Guys was going to compete with Fortnite, which is kind of probably what motivated them to buy that in the first place.
Which is so weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when Fall Guys first came out, it was really like huge, and you saw streamers all over the place playing it, and since then it's really just kind of died off.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it's not nearly as popular as it was.
It's a fun party game kind of thing, and it's one of those things where it's like, it's fun to jump in and play for a little while, but it's not competitive like your other competitive, even though I hate it, something like Fortnite or Call of Duty or whatever. There's not a competitive edge or anything to it necessarily, so I didn't foresee it having the staying power as far as its popularity goes, because there are not people that are going to commit their lives to playing Fall Guys. There's no pro Fall Guys players.
They have a lot of tournaments and whatnot, but it's like Fall Guys is a competitive party game.
Yeah, it's a party game.
Right, and usually with party games, you get this like soft competition where you're just playing with other people, but you're more playing against the environment than you are against the other people.
Well, in some cases, I mean, there's definitely trying to push somebody off or whatever, but
you can, but again, most of the time you're fighting obstacle courses or objectives or things like that. Where things like Fortnite, you're facing against other people. Like the harder competitive edged games. So,
and I would say that with Fall Guys, there's also an element of RNG luck to it that you don't have in other competitive games that makes it harder to actually be a competitive game. But that's just me. I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there that are super good at platformers that are like, no, it is literally all skill. You obviously have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm just saying it's not as skill-based or, situational play-based as some other games are. So some of it's just that you jumped 0.5 seconds before the guy next to you and he got hit by the bar and you didn't. I mean, that's...
Well, it's also timing it, too. Like, if you want to break it down, anything can be pure skill-based if you know how... If you break the game down to enough fine points, then yeah, everything is skill-based to an extent. But there's always... I think to be honest, there's more RNG in games like Fortnite than there are in Fall Guys.
You think so?
Oh, yes. Because games like Fortnite, you have to find weapons and things like that and materials and shit, and you can't guarantee that. Where Fall Guys maps are always the same.
I guess
if you
that's
get
true.
this map, it's the same map every time. It's not like they suddenly changed out a few of the obstacles.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, I don't know. I'm also really not skilled at platformers, so, all of the people that actually-ed me 5 minutes ago, just understand that, yeah, you're probably at least partially correct.
Actually, Griff.
Well, actually. Calm down. That's what it is. But I do feel like it has a different feel to it in general, though. Like, nobody...
Oh, it does.
Nobody's, little Bobby's coach is like, God damn it, Bobby, you didn't jump fast enough. How could you? I'll fucking fire you for this. That's just not the Fall Guys atmosphere. And if it is, well, you're playing that kind of strange, but you do you, I guess. Well.
Okay, so on the topic of Epic Games, I read Griff this article, I think it was last week at some point. Everybody remembers Hatful Boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's the pigeon dating sim.
Yes, it is. I have not played it before anybody asks. No, I have not played the pigeon dating sim.
Mediatonic, which is the company that made it, was acquired by Epic in 2021. And from that point, they have never received a royalty payment for their game.
Yeah, we talked about that on the show last week.
Did we?
Yes, we did. Or last time.
What is this article? October 3rd.
Then maybe you and I talked about it?
I said we talked about it.
I know, but I swear it was on the show, and I swear Oak had something to say about it, and I'm sorry. Obviously, I had the whole show in my head before we actually had it, and then,
No, because I'm looking back through our chat, and there's no article of it.
Okay. Carry on, then. Maybe it was me and you.
It was me and you.
Weird.
I couldn't find the article that we were talking about, but I found this one, which shows to that other one. But they were supposed, I guess the obligations were transferred to Epic, so Epic had to pay them for royalties to their game, but they have never received a payment about it. And now Epic Games has stated that they are looking into the lack of royalties, which means somebody dropped the ball somewhere and are not paying the company the royalties from their game that Epic Games bought. So somebody's going to get in trouble for that one.
Epic was probably hoping they wouldn't notice. And then went, oh no, we promise we'll look into that for you. And
There's a clerical error.
The developer of the game was like, it's not enough money that it would justify me trying to take them to court for it. But it's just one of those things where it's kind of the principle of it. So it's not... Hatful Boyfriend is not a game that somebody made $1 billion off of or anything like that.
Hell no. But they haven't gotten a single
they're right.
royalty
It is the
check.
principle of it. It's like Epic. How many other creators is Epic kind of nickel and diming in the same way? Where they're like, we thought somebody else paid you. Oh no. Let us look into that. We'll see you in 6 to 8 months. Hoping that you forget. It's one of those things where it feels real shady on Epic's part, and it's hard to continue to excuse some of the shady stuff that they do, People
Epic
are like,
is starting to
well,
get the EA reputation.
Yeah. Like, well, they're not really murdering companies so much yet, although it seems like they're starting to.
Well, they're laying off people
Yeah.
and for getting money and just buying up all of these exclusives and killing these games. Like, it feels like if you go to Epic, you kind of fall into the pit, and there's like a 50-50 chance that okay, it's like 33, 33, 33. You either get stuck in the pit forever, you get out of the pit scarred, or you survive barely, get out of the pit, and make a name for yourself elsewhere. You die entirely, you get out and you're damaged goods, or you get out clean. Probably say it's like 10% getting out clean. Most of the time, they do not get out very clean.
They also removed it from everywhere except Steam. Hatful Boyfriend, apparently, so...
Really?
Because I assume it's probably on Steam side of it, where it's like, well, once this is here, you can't just, completely delist or whatever. Maybe they made a deal with Steam beforehand. I don't really know, but it's just one of those things where it's like, why would you do that, though? Why would you buy this product and then delist it from everywhere?
Ooh.
Like, did you just want to hurt them? Were you so opposed to the idea of people playing a game where you could date digital pigeons that you were like, I'm buying that just so I can delete it?
It makes me wonder if like Epic's just being pissy about it, that they get royalties from Steam for the game and they're just like throwing it away.
They're throwing it in their bank account is what they're doing.
Yeah,
gotta cover them
petty
lawsuits, yo.
Yeah.
Oh man. I know we're kind of all over the place today, but we mentioned
the articles are all over the place.
Well, we mentioned the Dragon Age thing earlier, the people getting laid off from that, and there's another group that had already been laid off, but now they're fighting for further compensation following their layoff.
I think that's the same group.
No, these were let go in August. It was the 50 people
they?
let go in August.
Okay. So they're looking for
so
more compensation.
It's the one that like Varric's writer got cut in and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
So it basically they can't show off any of their work for their portfolios because of NDA stuff. So it's, I guess you could argue that makes it a little difficult for some of them to find work, because some of them would have been probably new to the project, and this is something that would have been one of their first big things, although others probably arguably have plenty that they could put in there. But
well, even so, if their average work year, or average of 14 years with Bioware, and they've been working on this game for the last 6 years or so,
that's like most
and you
of
can't
their
show
career.
any of your project to anybody,
yeah,
I could see where that's going to hurt you. Do you have anything recently that you've worked on? Yeah, I can't show you that though. Yeah, but what you're trying to show me is from almost a decade ago, and I need to see where you're at now.
Like, 6 or 7 years, but yeah, it's that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that's also happening. I imagine BioWare is not long for this world. I imagine after Dreadwolf comes out, unless it knocks it out of the park, they're gonna fire everybody that worked on it, and they're gonna have a skeleton crew to launch the next Mass Effect with. And if that one does not knock it out of the park, BioWare as a whole will go away.
I'm kind of leaning in that direction at this point.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. I think EA put their hands in it too much, and they just are not recovering.
That's what EA does. Is they put their hands in the cookie jar too much, and then when the company doesn't perform like it did, because either everyone got laid off or fired or something to that effect, or they quit because EA was fucking stupid, that they basically take that company and put it out to pasture.
I think
and get rid of it.
In the case of BioWare, I think EA touched it too much with Mass Effect, and when Andromeda failed, they were like, okay, well, we're gonna back off, but here are all of these people. And then they did a too many cooks in the kitchen thing with Dragon Age, because from what I understand, it's been through so many different iterations of what they wanted to do with the game, and they're basically still at this point trying to iron out some of the plot line and some of the ideas and how things are supposed to work with it, that it sounds like it's going to be a hot mess because EA was too strict about what they did and didn't want with Mass Effect, and it caused chaos. And this time they were like, you can do whatever, and then without any solid direction, Dragon Age has just crumbled. And I imagine it'll maybe be the same with the next Mass Effect. We'll see. I mean, they're trying to bring it back to the OG crew. I don't know if that's going to save them. So I'm kind of with Baka on this.
There's too much turnover in the goddamn video game industry. Like, you get a cohesive group of people who are good and actually get together and want to produce a great piece of art.
Well, they're passionate about the project that they're working on together. You know, instead of it being like, this is what corporate wants, do it. It's, you know, a team that actually cares about their characters and about the way everything looks and the details and the lore, you know. And it's not that we don't have companies that still do that. We do. They're just fewer and far between, and a lot of them, Larian, are smaller and, you know, just getting
Larian
their big breakouts.
Not small. Larian is bigger than some of the big studios, the AAA studios.
Well, I guess
they had at least 250 employees, 250 employees, and I think it was like 800 and something voice actors. Like the amount of voice lines.
They don't have the money behind them that most AAAs do.
That is true, but they definitely got big money investment from Wizards of the West Coast for D&D.
Wizards of the Coast?
I think that's right. Yeah, Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, well,
yeah, so they definitely got a big influx of money. It worked out for them this time.
It did.
This time.
But we also saw that, like, the D&D content controversy thing didn't happen until, I think it happened right around the same time as Baldur's Gate launched. Or might have
blows my mind that Wizards of the Coast was so hands off. They're like, here, take a bunch of money, make us a Baldur's Gate 3.
And then they kind of went rabid.
And then they just kind of like went away. They're like, all right, cool, you guys got this, and just left without, you know, screaming about monetization, making more money. They're just like, no, just do this and we'll go away.
Wow.
Okay. It worked for them. Look at Baldur's Gate 3. Tell me it's not Game of the Year.
But, I mean, you also have to look at their reputations as horrid. The Divinity Original Sin and the sequel that did really well with the story and everything. And the whole concept of D&D and how it is played, what was already there.
Yeah.
With that.
I mean, both of those games were crowdfunded. Like, they were so small that they didn't even make enough off of the first game to be able to make the second game. The second game had to be crowdfunded too. And it was the Coast come in with a big bag of money and was like, hey, your two games were so good, you're not going to have to crowdfund your third one. Here you go.
Well,
so
we'll see how it goes.
Well, I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 is already out. It's fantastic. Game of the Year.
I meant for everything else, but
yeah.
I mean, as long as you can play through Act 3, yes.
Yeah. Shut up. I don't want to hear from you. Not yet. Not again.
Well, we'll see how well I can play through Act 3.
Yeah, maybe you'll get to finish it.
Hey, I'm in a fight right now in Act 3.
There's a fight in Act 3. Spoiler.
Oh my god. Who would have guessed?
Thought you just walked through Act 3.
It turns into a walking simulator.
Yes.
You're pretty well like done with the game, so they're just like, yeah, just take a walk through the city. It's fine. Nothing bad happens here at all. Baldur's Gate. You've made it. This is the end. Enjoy yourself. Here's all the weird, you know, sex dungeons and stuff. Oh, you want to talk about Nintendo and then get out of here?
I love Nintendo.
Yeah, I know you do.
Nintendo does things right.
Oh, you didn't mention that you picked up Super Mario to play with Nuggy. Granted,
Super Mario Odyssey?
He doesn't have the attention span for it yet, but
no. But I started playing. I like it, man. I gotta remember. Like, I was good at it. I gotta remember how to do the quick mechanics again. I'm sitting there going, how do I do that? Because I'm trying to do the jump off of Cappy thing, so you can get like the quadruple jumps and whatnot. And it's like, oh, because when I played it the first time, it took me a while, but I got really, really good at it. Because you can jump, throw Cappy, dive, jump off Cappy, jump to a wall, jump off the wall, throw Cappy again, jump off Cappy, go back to the wall. You can basically keep wall climbing like that as long as you can keep jumping off of Cappy. Because you have to touch ground in order to reset the jump. So as long as you touch a wall or something, you can keep going. So, but yeah, it's like trying to get those hand movements back in. It took me a few, like, I'll be honest, because my hands are built with muscle memory. I was trying to do it on purpose, and I could not get the controls work. And I was like, okay, fuck this. How did I do it before? And I just started doing it, and I was like, oh shit, I'm doing it. And then I tried to do it, and I was like, it's not working. How? Oh my god, how do I do this right? So I was like, fuck it, I can't try. I just have to do.
There is no try.
Don't try, just do.
Well. Oh, so now the question is, because we know there's another Switch coming, or another Nintendo console, we'll put it that way, coming on the horizon. How long is Nintendo going to support the Switch? What are we looking at for launch windows and whatnot? The Switch 2, quote unquote, is expected to launch next year. That's the theory, though there's been no solid date or anything like that. But Nintendo did say that they're gonna support the Switch and continue to make Switch games until 2025.
Okay, so it's got a couple of years, year and a half of. I just want to see. I have to see what they're making, because Nintendo doesn't ever just make a sequel console.
Yeah.
Like, even when they went to the Switch or to the Wii, to the Wii U, it may have had a similar name, but it was still so different.
I mean, it was, but it was definitely the predecessor to the Switch, where they gave you the handheld tablet doodad and did not explain why it was anything different than a peripheral.
All I want to do is just scream at Griff to be like, I told you. You remember when we were talking about when the Wii U came out? I was like, their next console, they're going to let you take this anywhere. They want you to be able to dock this and then let you take it anywhere. I am telling you right now, their next console is just going to be this controller that you take wherever. And it was exactly that.
I don't think I disagreed with you on that.
Well, no, I want you to tell everybody too. It's like everybody could see what they wanted to do. It's just they weren't there yet, and then they didn't market it very well at all.
The Wii U, no, they didn't. But yeah. The Switch, they did a really good job of.
I liked the idea of the Wii U, because for Zombie U, I think it actually used the peripheral super well, because it was you play the game like that, and then you had your backpack on your screen, so it gave you that secondary style. I'm interested to see if they bring that back. Like, if they can let you use, like, if they make the dock stronger and then either let you download the game to the handheld part and then you put the cartridge in the dock so that you can kind of use them together separately.
I think that would be so confusing, though, to try to get that tech to work, to be like, no, I'm playing the handheld as the backpack accessory. I want the actual game on the TV.
No, as the... Well, I mean, it's the same principle.
Or they could be like with the DS, just much bigger, and have like another screen
that that's possible. I feel like they want to use it together but separately, almost like, I feel like we're gonna go to a style like the Wii U, where they're gonna give you two pieces to be able to use, because the dock is useless. Just a garbage piece. It's just useless. It's literally just it's just to plug in the HDMI cord. That's pretty much it. But if you can make that dock more powerful, put more in there, basically double the processing power or the graphics power of the main console, then you can do something.
I don't know. I think Baka may be more along the lines where you're getting at something that essentially looks like the 3DS or 2DS, where it was the clamshell kind of deal, where you could open it and have both screens. But I mean, I don't foresee them being like, yeah, okay, your dock is playing the main game, the tablet in your hand is just for you to look at your backpack. I don't think they can split it like that. Well, like your auxiliary stuff, be like, oh, it's your backpack and your map and all of the stuff that you don't want on the main screen.
Right, it's your auxiliary screen. Use it for something.
Yeah, I don't know if they would do that, though, because that's going to make it hard, because then how do you reconcile that if you're playing it just on the handheld? Like, if you want to take the game with you, like the Switch is, kind of the idea behind it is that you can take your game with you. You then only have the one screen that you were just using as an auxiliary piece earlier to play the whole game. Where do those things go?
They go back. It goes back to the normal style of game, just like they did with Zombie U, because you can play it on Steam now without access to any of that. It was just a thing that you could do. It'd be similar to having it in single screen or dual screen mode. It's an option.
I don't know, because the Wii U it didn't do very well because of that causing confusion.
They did that because of marketing.
Just to upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. That's a marketing issue, not because everybody is like, "Why do we need the Wii U? What's the point of this?" That was the main question.
They named
that
it too similarly to the previous product and didn't do a good enough job of explaining. Yes, we've covered that before.
Yeah,
but
so I feel like
calling it the Switch 2, which I don't know if that's going to be the actual name of it, but at least if it has a 2, it's the sequel. Instead of
but if it doesn't really do anything different, which Nintendo always innovates.
We'll see what happens with it. We'll just constantly talk to Ollie until he can tell us stuff.
So I'm interested. I'm interested to see what they do with the next Switch console, next Nintendo console.
Well,
it's always fun. I don't really care much about Sony or Microsoft. They don't ever fucking do anything different. They just make
what do you mean they don't do anything different? They turned the Xbox into our entire entertainment center in the... Yeah, that's not enough.
Yeah, they changed their rectangles into different sized rectangles that are just stronger. Like, seriously, they go out, they buy stronger components, they put it in a box and call it a new console.
Well, I mean, it is because it's stronger, but,
Yeah, but Nintendo actually innovates the style of play.
Well, Baka had a valid question before the show about whether or not it was going to involve backwards compatibility on this one or not. So...
Because, I mean, they do backwards compatibility with their handhelds, but not really their consoles, so...
Yeah, but it's because people buy the games again.
That
Nintendo does, they like being the nice guy, but they also love making money, and they're very good at it.
They double dip. They double dip so fucking hard. It's unbelievable that they get to get away with it.
Baka's even wearing their merch right now with his Nintendo 64 shirt.
I know, right? Look at this dude over here. It's like, yeah. I'm not being paid.
I wish.
Baka gets some kickback from Nintendo over there.
Free advertising.
I mean, maybe I can get my computer actually up and going.
But I do get your point where their handhelds have notoriously been able to, play previous stuff, but their consoles not so much. But this is a hybrid, so what does that mean?
It could go either way.
Yeah, did they lean it towards? I think they don't. I think they keep it as something new so that they can resell you the catalog. I think they would lose.
They won't resell the whole catalog, only some of their big ones. Like they might redo Metroid. Plus, you have the whole thing of they just redid Metroid Prime. They stated that they're going to do the other ones. We're still waiting for Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless they're going to do like what they did with B, where they go, okay, well, here's a bundle that has Primes 1, 2, and 3 in it, and you can buy that, and then sell you 4.
I mean, but, well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I think they make too much money off of doing things like buy your previous games again, and also if you have the online thing, you have access to a curated list of retro titles, so you're still getting access to super old stuff too. And then eventually
thank you pirates for getting us retro games. Okay, because that whole thing of if we as consumers do not have access to the virtual goods, then we are allowed to get access to those virtual goods. It forced Nintendo's hand to being like, well, shit. If we don't want them to be able to have access to them in a pirated way, we have to give them access to it.
And then they're like, well, I guess we can make money off that though.
pretty much. And then Nintendo's like, well, okay. And everyone's like, what about this game? Yeah, it's on the list. We're looking at it.
Quick, somebody
Shit,
get
on
that
the list.
game.
Come on, get the game quick.
Quick
So,
before they make a pirate version.
exactly. So it's one of those things where we do get access to that stuff now. We don't have to go out and hunt down a Super Nintendo and then try to find the game that we're looking for. And Nintendo gives us access to things like that.
I like doing that though.
Yeah, but some
Yeah.
people don't have the capabilities of doing that. They don't have the resources or the ability to actually
Not to
go to a
mention
store
how
to find
much
one.
some of that stuff costs now because it is
Yeah,
a limited
and
resource.
It's only gone up in price. Like the Castlevania games now, ever since the Netflix series, it's like, man, I remember when I can get that for half the price.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not anymore because there's a finite amount of them that still exist in the world, so they're not making them anymore. But Nintendo's
Yep.
like, well, we won't give you a physical copy of it, and it's going to be on a rotating platform here, but here you go. You can have this.
Thank you. Just give me.
As long as I forever have access to Dr. Mario.
You don't even play Dr.
I
Mario.
don't,
Hell,
but
you
I
barely
want to
ever
make
play
sure
the
I can
Switch.
get to it.
Ah,
In case I
you know,
want to.
someday in the far future,
I would
when
love
you're
to
like
sit on the
90 something
couch.
years old, I'm like, I want some Dr. Mario.
I would love to sit on the couch and play it, but you know our child would not allow me to because he would be trying to help. And that game is not something that you can really, like Tetris and everything, you can't really afford a lot of like, oh, errant touch move on that.
he lets me sit on the couch and play Tetris 99.
He climbs on me a lot more than he climbs on you.
Yeah, well, that's your fault.
Anyway, is there anything else that we want to talk about on the show today? Because I have a fight that I need to go finish. I feel like Master Chief over here. No? Okay, cool.
I think that's it.
All right, well, Oak's not here, but you can go to his Twitch, twitch.tv/MDB Oaktree. And I don't know what his schedule is right now. He's out of town until Wednesday, I think, is when he's going to be back, but I don't know if that means that his stream will be back. I should have asked. I'm sorry if you're listening to this, Oak, that I didn't ask. I didn't think about it until right this second. I'm sorry. But he'll be back at some point in the future to stream for you. And then he's the only one of us that still checks Twitter occasionally, so if you want to hit him up on Twitter, he's at MDB Oaktree. Chicken is streaming.
You mean X?
It's Twitter. Nobody calls it that, except for Elon
Twitter.
Musk, and that's because he's an insane person.
Anyway, moving on.
Chicken is streaming now when he gets the chance to. Not Tuesday, but well, maybe Monday. I don't know. Depends on what your day looks like.
Maybe. Depends on what the day looks like and how much I want to finish Liza P. Enjoying the shit out of Liza P, by the way. I'm streaming the crap out of it. It's super fun, real frustrating. Super fun, but frustrating.
And then after
Like
that,
every
Resident Evil, which I know you're like super pumped for.
That's right. I have no idea what I'm doing afterwards, but I'm just looking forward to Resident Evil, the DLC. So,
but that is twitch.tv/EliteChicken313. And there are links to all of that stuff under the YouTube video here and in the description of the podcast, wherever it is that you're watching/listening. Also, if you listen to this as an audio podcast, could you please let us know where you listen to that? We're looking at like making a more streamlined distribution system, I guess. So if you are an audio only person, please hit us up. If you want to do that on Twitter, you have to go to Oak because, like I said, he's the only one at MDB Oaktree. And since I didn't tell him about this beforehand, if you tweet that to him before he knows about it, that would just be hilarious for the confusion factor. But you can always hit us up on Discord. There's a link to that. It's the Chicken Coop Discord that we hang out in. Or you can leave a comment on the YouTube. So if you're an audio-only listener, please let me know where you're listening at. We'd like to make sure that we can better take care of your needs. That sounded really weird. All right, look, I'm bad at this. I'm just going to go. I got to go fight a boss, okay? And probably do laundry, which is not nearly as fun. So, for Infinite Respawn, I'm Griff.
I'm Chicken.
I'm Bogger.
Bye!
Bye.